Go.
It's August 29th, 2024, and sitting with, and my pleasure and honor to be with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. Mr. Jeckovich is a World War II veteran, and he is from Company H, the 2nd Battalion, the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich was a combat veteran, and there's only about 7,000 approximately combat veterans left, and we're losing them at a rate of 135 a day. Mr. Jeckovich is knocking on the door of 100, and for those, maybe you're 40 years old, you have about a 10% chance, you have a 10% chance in your life to live to 100. So it's a very unique thing. Mr. Jeckovich has basically been through hell and back, and he's looking well. How are you feeling today, Mr. Jeckovich?
Tip top.
Chipper, you got new clothes on?
I got new clothes on, yeah.
You got a new shave, you got your nails done. How about your dog tag number?
420965.
Thank you. That's the passcode to actually enter and start recording in Studio CA today, Studio CA. And we're on Chapter 16, where Mr. Jeckovich is finally ending his service in World War II, and he's heading back to Niagara Falls, New York. Niagara Falls, New York. That's originally where you lived, right?
Yeah.
I see. That's where you spent most of your life, right?
Right.
That's extremely interesting. That's extremely interesting. When you're in this, I have some text messages here. Do you want me to read, or you want to try to answer some of these text messages?
Okay, go ahead.
You feel up to it?
Go ahead.
I can read the book or do the text. What do you feel up to? Text messages or the book?
Text messages, yeah.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, let's see. What is the best and worst memory you have of World War II?
The best memory?
Best and worst memory of World War II.
Means some very good people.
And were those, you met a lot of good fighters.
Huh?
You met a lot of good combat soldiers.
Yeah.
And you also met three beautiful ladies, Renee,
Yeah.
Anne, and Jean.
Yeah.
And as we did locate Anne Mahaney, my father talked to her approximately 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And we know Renee, the former nun,
Yeah.
joined the French resistance, and she's a fine artist, and in her studio she had portraits on all the walls of SS. And this is, why did Renee have all the pictures of the SS?
Well, she was paying the German officers to come up to Real Eagle. They didn't want a picture. They wanted somebody to paint their face actually.
And so when you first met her and you went to her apartment, you were kind of taken back.
It's all German stuff.
Yeah. And so that was Renee's way of gathering information for the French resistance.
Yeah, but that was her death.
That was her death.
Yeah.
They found out. And the reason why Renee went from nun to French resistance was quite simple. She questioned her faith in Paris when both her mother and father and her two brothers were brutally killed by the Nazis in Paris. Keep in mind that the Germans, they occupied Paris for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then when the American soldiers came, you guys ran their asses out, right?
Yeah.
You ran them out. Okay. All right. Okay, let's see the next one. What rank were you in the Army?
Staff sergeant.
Okay. What weapon did you use during World War II? What weapon did you use during World War II?
Well, I had a carbine and a machine gun.
Did you also have a pistol?
No. Carbine was better.
What were your injuries during World War II?
Shrapnel and a gunshot wound.
Sniper hit you in the shoulder.
Yeah.
Shrapnel from a bomb,
Yeah.
which is still in your leg. Trench foot,
I still got transferred, yeah.
frostbite,
Frostbite, yeah, I've got it.
it doesn't go away.
No, the temperature comes down, you go down too.
It doesn't go away. How long were you married for?
69 years.
Tell us a little bit about your wife, her name.
She's a sweetheart.
What was her name?
Delphine.
By the way, Delphine Jeckovich was married to Mr. John J. Jeckovich for 69 years, knocking on the door of 70, and Mr. Jeckovich found out, and he was by her side to the end of the road, and she died in August 14th of 2020. August 14th of 2020. And that was a very sad thing, but Mr. Jeckovich honored her with this book, Their Mother's Sons, and he dedicated the book to her.
But I had her on hospice. I stayed with her too.
Right to the bitter, right to the end of the road.
Yeah.
And that's what the book is based on, Their Mother's Sons. It is basically an autobiography. When you're 11, 12 years old, you're at your mother's side and Targus Jeckovich until the end of the road. She passed away at 89, but the time Mr. Jeckovich started 11 years old, he did not leave his mother's side, and he cared for her because his father, Marion Jeckovich, died in a heart attack.
43.
How old?
43.
43. And the man was basically worked to death. He came from a small industrial town, a coal town in Russia. They had worked these guys to 20, 22 hours a day. And where you simply dropped is where, that was your bed.
Yeah.
That's where you slept.
Yeah.
And he brought those hard work ethics over to the United States when he came across to Ellis Island legally. What a difference between these young men coming across in the early 20s and 1918s, and they come here with no government benefits, no criminal record. They're highly vetted. The young men coming across had to take every type of physical to see if they weren't carrying any type of diseases. They had to do a lot of stuff, and then they had to honor the American flag, and they had to become properly induced into the American culture to become American citizen. Compared to what we got now, we basically have 20 million animals. Many of them are released from prisons and nut houses, killing our young American girls and young American boys. What a difference of a generation. What a hell of a difference. It's actually disgusting to see what's going on now. It's so sad that his father came and worked his ass off, working in a factory, and he was doing cement, and it was just too much. His body was worn out. His body was beat at 43 years old. And then when he died, what happened next? How did you have to find out of his death?
Well, the police knocked at the door and said, your father got hurt. They take him to the hospital.
And then what?
They drove me to the hospital, but they didn't take me to the hospital. They took me down to the morgue. My father was dead.
Well, let me ask you a question. The police knocked on your door, you're like 14 or 15, and they said your father's been injured.
Yeah.
And so they drive you to Memorial Hospital, a big red brick building, and they drop you at the front door by yourself.
Yeah.
And so the police didn't even escort you. They dropped you to the front door yourself.
Well, the nurses were there to help
So you
me.
went to the information center, and you asked the nurse, I heard my father got hurt. You're thinking that he broke his arm or his leg. And then the nurse says, okay, Marion Jeckovich, let me take you to his room. Then what?
Well, I took him in the room down to the morgue. She was
And
dead.
then what did you see there?
He was dead.
But what did they ask you to identify the body?
Yeah, look through his pockets, see what he's got, and he had. Well, we told him we listed all that stuff.
No, these people haven't heard it.
Huh?
What did these new people haven't heard it? They want to know when you had we were shocked to see that you didn't go to a hospital room. but a 14 or 15-year-old boy is going down to the morgue. Not too many people been to the morgue in their life, let alone a teenager. And then they asked you to inventory his pockets. What exactly?
Well, can of Prince Albert, tissue paper to make them, a couple quarters, couple dimes, the keys to the house.
And what condition was your father's clothes and hands at the time?
It's all full of cement.
Uh-huh. And the reason why, because he was working very hard.
Yeah, that's when he had a heart attack, yeah.
So at that point on, you took over supporting the family. You did everything you could to support.
Well, my mother was still working, yeah.
But you were the main person. What about your two brothers? Did they help?
Well, Stevie was in school and my other brother was lackadaisical.
What do you mean by lackadaisical?
Well, he was never home.
He was always out.
Yeah.
He never participated?
No.
Many people enlisted during World War II. Why did you wait to be drafted?
Well, my mother would be alone. I was concerned about my mother, but everybody's gone. My mother would be alone.
And so you waited to the last minute.
Yeah, well, look, he enlisted in the Coast Guard. Stevie was in school. Sally was too young. That was it.
So you waited to the last minute. Wow. That's something. You waited to the last minute. The next question was, you were married for 69 years.
69.
69, yeah. 69 years to Delphine Stulak Jeckovich. Did you have any children?
Any what?
Did you have any children? During this marriage, did you have any children? That's one of the questions.
What?
Did you have a family?
Oh, yeah, we had 3 kids. Two boys and 1 girl.
Okay. All right. Are those children still alive?
Yes.
Do you know where they are, or do you ever seen them?
Well, I've seen, no, JK I haven't seen too much. I've seen the other 2 once in a while, yeah.
Okay. But they're not really...
Well, they got their own lives.
Okay. Okay, so you don't see them much.
No.
Yeah. When you helped free the POWs and at the Holocaust camps, what was your instructions when you were freeing the prisoners?
Say again?
When you're helping release prisoners of war in the Holocaust camps, what was your instructions?
Oh, they said don't feed them, don't feed them.
And why is that?
Because their diet was negligent. They weren't eating right. They were down to skin and bones. So the Army had to build them up. Medics had to build them up.
How long have you been retired for?
How long have I been retired?
Yeah.
Since 1980.
So you had a pretty long retirement.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, you were shot up, bombed, frozen, trench foot, cheated out of your pension by Kimberly Clark, 35-year pension.
Yeah, we're still waiting for that one.
Wow. That's really, yeah, still waiting for that one. And look how good you're looking.
Oh?
You're sharp as a tack. You read the newspaper without any glasses. The only thing they gave in was your knees.
Yeah.
The only thing they gave
Well,
in.
see, I ran all the
You
time.
ran for how many years? 80 years?
30 years.
Yeah.
Well, and remember when he parachuted too.
Oh, yeah, you parachuted and you busted up your knees too.
This one here, yeah.
Yeah. That must have been a hard fall. So, you've been retired since 1980. You've been shot up, beat up, have shrapnel still in your body, cheated out of your pension by Kimberly Clark. What else could hell go wrong? Trench foot, frostbite still bothering you now, right? Trench foot and frostbite is still bothering you now, right?
Yeah.
15.
That's why we call you the super soldier.
Super soldier.
Almost 100 years old and you're in great shape. You're in great shape. Mr. John J. Jeckovich takes a licking and he keeps on ticking. Super soldier. I guess this is why we
super
call him.
soldier, yeah.
Yeah, seriously. That's why we call you the greatest generation in the world. You've been through hell and back and you're still ready to go. I know you live by your motto, and that motto is a great motto that you live by. And your motto has been all your life. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That's a wonderful motto to live by. That's a wonderful motto to live by. It was absolutely shocking when you were helping the prisoners of war and the Holocaust victims being taken out of these horrible conditions of these death camps, and the violence of the Holocaust and the atrocities committed against the Jewish people and the POWs are tantamount to blasphemy. It was a horrible situation. It just tantamount to blasphemy. And in fact, most of those perpetrators are still being sought after today and prosecuted. Just the other day, I read in the newspaper that a 99-year-old lady, now 99, she was a secretary in these death camps, and she was instrumental in creating pain to the prisoners, abusing the prisoners. And we call these people fat fucks. And the reason why we call them fat fucks is because the prisoners are down to 60, 70 pounds. They don't have enough strength to even crawl that stinking cot. That stinking cot. And these fat fuck secretaries are eating like pigs. They're eating like pigs. And so what Mr. Jeckovich and all the rest of the people that freed these camps, they made these secretaries partake in the release of these POWs. They made them, help them take these, the ones that are living to transport trucks, and the ones were dead to drag them out to a pit. So they had these ladies participate, and they could see what they did. They could see what they did to all these people. It's an absolute travesty. And once you see something like that, you will never forget it. Even some of the most seasoned soldiers lost their stomachs at the time. And we should always remember the victims of the POW camps and Holocaust. This is the worst form of blasphemy that violated the second commandment of our Roman Catholic Church. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. And this is exactly what they did there. And that memory of the horrors of these POW camps and a Holocaust must not give way to being forgetfulness, just a minute, indifference, and forms of manipulation that would exploit the religion in service of power, or else we reduce it to irrelevance. And what do I mean by that is a lot of these freaks today are saying the Holocaust didn't resist. What sick, perverted son of a bitches to say that. Those people that are saying the Holocaust didn't exist, I think this way of them. They would even unplug your life support in order to charge your friggin' cell phone. That's what kind of people we're talking about. The Holocaust is real, the POW camps are real, and they should never, ever be forgotten. They should never be forgotten. Let's see, what other text came in? You got a lot of texts. You have a lot on longevity. Well, a lot of people heard your story of longevity, but what the hell? Let's say it again because we have new listeners every day. What is your secret to longevity?
Exercise, good diet, no smoking, no drinking.
Were you did you take vitamins?
No.
Did you take prescriptions?
No.
Where you jogged for 80 years, what got you motivated to jog? Was it the death of your father at 43?
You mean the drive?
The jog, what got you motivated to start running?
Oh, I read a book on that. Johnson was started me on that.
And what was the book basically talking about?
It says you can walk around, you can do exercise and everything, but the best way is to just start running.
Simple.
Simple.
Did you have, I remember when you started running many, many years ago, you had like regular clothes, old t-shirt, corduroy pants. You didn't have much more than that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and now there's all these expensive jogging suits. Did you ever get involved in that?
Yeah.
Did you ever wear these
No, I wore a pair of pants and t-shirts.
Did you carry a water bottle?
No.
No. So you know what I'm talking about, all these fancy.
Yeah.
That's not you.
They make a culture out of it, yeah.
Okay. But it's interesting, when you start jogging, many people will yell out the windows and say, hey, can't you afford a car? Or hey, do you need a ride? Or throw a beer can at you. They didn't realize you were jogging for health.
Yeah.
You weren't jogging for transportation. So you were before your time, basically, due to the fact you were jogging for health. And all those ethical dwarfs, those moronic losers who were yelling to you saying, hey, you can't afford a car, or throw a beer can at you. You can't afford a car. They didn't realize you were jogging for health and not transportation. And I assure you, all those ethical dwarfs right now are pushing up daisies, and you're looking perfect.
Yeah,
you're looking as 40, 50 years younger than your time, and you're knocking on 100. And once again, if you're 40, bro, you have 10% chance to live to 100. So speaking about your retirement, what did you mostly do on your retirement?
Do what?
You were retired for almost 50 years.
1980, yeah.
What did you do on your retirement? What kind of things?
Well, my mother had a big list for me to do.
So your mother kept you busy.
My mother kept me busy, yeah.
How about tell us a brief story as when you were shot up with gunshot wounds in your shoulder, and thank God it didn't go through the bone. And then you had shrapnel in your leg, and you finally had a chance to get out a phone call to your mother from Paris. And how'd that phone call go?
How did that phone call? It was a telegram.
But what did your mother say to you besides seeing if you're okay?
Are you okay? See, are you coming home?
I got a lot of
We
work.
got a lot of work for you to do.
And when you finally got home, what happened?
I got to work.
She got you a list.
Yeah.
Did she actually write it out?
Huh?
Did she actually write out the list, or just remind
Well,
you?
she had stuff, no one was doing it. Who's doing it?
At the same time, you were looking for a job because you're just out of the service.
Yeah.
How did she expect you to do all this work when you're looking for a job?
Yeah.
Was your mother angry you didn't get a job right away?
He says, how come he's not going to work? He said, how come you're not working? Well, I went to the unemployment office every week.
Was that unemployment office a long line?
What?
Was it a lot of people looking for work?
Oh, yeah,
A long line.
Yeah.
So you had to find a job where all the World War II vets were looking.
Oh, yeah. And there weren't that many jobs around.
Yeah. The next question is, being a veteran, you're able to use veteran benefits to buy a house. Did you ever use your veteran benefits?
I didn't use that, and I didn't use it for PL-16 for college or nothing, no.
What's PL-16?
Public Law 16 gives you free 4 years of college.
So basically, even though you're knocking on the door of 100, you can still use your VA benefits to buy a house and go to college.
Yeah.
Why not? You're in good enough shape to go to college.
Yeah.
You're better than most people going to college, I'd say. You're in good, and you love to read, right?
Huh?
You love to read.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about when you used to buy the books,
Book of the Month Club.
and then what did your mother think of that?
Well, my mother says you get the one book every month, but coming back, she said, we're starving here and you're buying books.
Minutes?
4.
So your mother was saying, I mean, what mother today would like their son or daughter to reading books? We can't get them to read a book. They're always on these damn phones at the dinner table, texting some worthless nonsense to somebody. But you're getting good, hardcover, educational books, and after a while, you had to hide them, right?
I took one to bed.
You didn't want your mother to see them.
Yeah. Luckily, I got the mail first.
So you had to run to get the mail before your mother was home.
Yeah.
And then you had to read it. Where the hell did you read it at?
What?
Where did you read it?
I read it in the backyard in the overhang I put on the garage.
And your mother never came back there looking for it?
No, she looked back, but she says, what are you doing? She says, I want you to do something right now. Come on.
So what'd you do with the book? You had to hide it? What'd you do with the book? You had to hide it?
I put it underneath the bed.
Could you imagine how many mothers today
I know.
begging their kids to read a book? Instead, they're on their cell phones and jibber-jabbering a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah.
Or they're on some bullshit website like, say, let me think, Facebook,
Yeah.
doing really stupid things
Yeah.
so they can get likes.
Or watch TV.
Yeah, getting likes. Look at how many likes they got today. What a fucked up generation.
Yeah.
Let's tell the truth. Look at this generation.
Yeah.
This is the greatest generation in the world. Take a look. Take a look. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So you had to basically hide your books from your mother. Where'd you get the money to buy the books at in the first place?
Well, I was working. I had an odd job.
Were you a paper boy?
I worked for Corsdale.
And a paper boy?
No, I worked for Corsdale sheet metal work.
Weren't you also a paper boy? Did you
Paper
deliver
boy.
papers?
Yeah, I did Gene Lasinski. I brought 150 copies a day.
And those were all Polish.
All Polish, yeah. They never paid me though.
Why didn't they ever pay you? What happened?
Yeah, I paid you last week. You tried to drop me now, you old Polack Russian.
So you went to collect 50 cents or something, and they said, I already paid you.
Yeah, it was $5.50
All right.
a week, yeah.
Did your mother read the Polish paper too?
Oh, it was read the obituaries.
She read the obituaries. This is getting better all the time. I remember your mother, I took her to visit the gravesite of your father, Marion Jeckovich. And your mother's name was below his on the headstone. Anna Targus Jeckovich. And she had me go out and buy a roll of masking tape to cover her birth year.
Yeah.
And I had to cover her birth there. And I also always carried some Mother Mary, Virgin Mary medals, and I stuck one on the masking tape, which stayed there for years. But she didn't want nobody reading your age. But what a different situation then. People would actually visit grave sites.
Yeah.
Now, no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
No one's visiting nothing. They're
No,
worried about their
no.
cell phone and...
Well, I haven't been to a grave site in a long time.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about families in general. Because we'll later find out, as time goes on, that some of the most poisonous people on this earth come disguised as family members. Some of the most poisonous people on earth come disguised as family members. How many minutes?
29 seconds.
Oh, well, I don't have time to elaborate, but it's so true. Strangers will treat you better than family. Strangers will treat you better than family. But I think we all know that. We could be under the illusionary notion that they're all great people, but when it comes time to doing something, They don't do jack
They
shit.
don't come up, they don't
They
come
don't step up.
up. No.
Minutes?
3 seconds.
They don't come up.